I'm Lillian, and I'm 26. I'm not from Indiana. I'm actually born in Chicago. Both of my parents were addicts. Growing up for me was really hard. Around the time that I was 7, my mother started allowing the men that were in and out of our home, her drug dealers and the men she would sleep with for money, to molest my sister and I for money. And that lasted for a few years. So I went to a group home, an emergency placement on the south side of Chicago, and I just left that same night, just walked out, and they just let me go. A kid, 13 years old. A man had picked me up. When I told him I had nowhere to go, he told me, elated, that it's fine, you know, I have a family, we're in town for business. When I got to the hotel, we get inside, and it's his wife and 5 girls that are around my age. I think the oldest was 17. What gets people to come to trafficking is a false sense of purpose, needing to be loved, needing a home, needing whatever it may be, but what keeps them is fear. And I ended up meeting with somebody regularly while in Chicago. I feel like I wasn't even really in love with him. I was more in love with being numb to the pain of my past, and that's where my addiction came. And soon he convinced me to leave, and after about a year of being with him, hiding from just myself, my pain, my trafficker, he lost his job. We began growing marijuana on a very large scale, trafficking heroin, in and out of jail. And I was sentenced to prison. And after about a year in prison, I would fight anybody and everybody, just angry, alone. I went to confinement for a couple months, and after about 92 days being in that 5x4 cell, I just broke down. Like, I cursed the day I was born. I just couldn't take it anymore, and I prayed. I said, God, if you are real and you really love me, why have you let me suffer? And he said that I've suffered with you, and that if you want me, I can take this cup from you. So I asked for the Bible, and I opened up to Jeremiah 26:13. I'll never forget. And it says that you must change the way that you are living and the things that you are doing, and obey the Lord your God. And I spent the last month I was in confinement just on my face, praying, repenting, feasting on the word. I got out of confinement on September 1st of 2022, and I got baptized in prison September 3rd of 2022, and I gave my life to Jesus. And I ended up getting a letter in the mail saying that one of the places in Indiana where I was trafficking drugs at, on the highways, would be extraditing me because of me jumping bail, which is, it's like my charges, they hold up to a minimum of 30 years. But it was crazy because when I got released from prison June 4th, and the state marshals picked me up to extradite me via airplane, and I got on the plane in shackles, but I was free, and I wasn't free because of me being free, but I was free because I had Jesus. It's unexplainable. I get a letter through the mail saying that they were dropping one of my charges, and they were lessering the one to where I could be released to a GPS on the streets. Well, I go to court, and they tell me that. I say right there to the judge that I would rather spend the rest of my life in prison than go back to the streets bound in chains. I know nothing but Jesus in this confined space. I don't know how to step out boldly in my faith yet. I needed a place, a Christian program. I prayed and prayed and prayed that God would allow me to go, and my prayers were answered. I had my interview with Elisa. I was shackled to the table via Zoom, and I remember, I'll never forget her saying that we'll be waiting for you to come home, and that I was accepted. I've never met the people that Carrie and Sandra and Morgan and Elisa and all the women, the strong, bold women of God that make this place possible, that would give up their lives for us. I'm sorry.
We want to help her and walk with her and see her live her best life. And the question comes up. She says, why would God allow this to happen to me? And yet I'm watching God turn this horrible situation into something so beautiful. He's helping take her life and mold it so that she can reach out and be a support to other women. But I'm also watching this woman who walked through our doors and said, I can't do this anymore, but I don't know how to do anything different. I don't know how to live life different, and I can't trust you. I can't trust you because you might have an agenda, because I have lived a life for many years with someone who has had an agenda. I watched her trust us. I've watched her learn to trust God.
What God's teaching me while being here at SPA really is the importance of relationships, that we were created for two things, which is to worship something and to be in relation with somebody. And of course, he wants that to be him, but he equips us to be in relation with other people so that what we learn here take to that and spread him to other places, to other people, you know?